We'll tag everybody in a second. Are we? Oh shit, we live. What's going on with y'all? How y'all feeling?
What's good?
What's good,
Hey,
baby?
hey, nothing much. Got my boy Teddy with me. Teddy, go and tell the people about yourself real quick.
Yo, what's up? What's up, world? It's Teddy Owusu. Um, Avid basketball fan. I know we about to get into the NBA playoffs, cover the Wizards, Redskins, local sports for a little while. I'm ready to talk basketball with you fellas. Let's get it.
Hey, I'm definitely excited. But hey, Teddy, don't forget though. Don't forget your expert writing skills too out here in these streets.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, cover sports for a little while now. So fine tune the pen skills, and now we're on this broadcast thing. Hopefully, I can add a little something to the show, but we'll see. Ready to rock and roll.
I got 100% confidence in you. All right, y'all ready to do it?
Yes,
Let's go.
sir.
All right,
Yes,
let's
sir.
start from the top. Eastern Conference. Raptors versus Wizards. Which I think.
All right, so let me just jump in since I'm the guest today. All right, so we got the number one Raptors versus the number eight Wizards. This is a number one seed versus a number eight seed. Season series is split 2-2, but the Wizards have never played the Raptors with John Wall this season. Um, so if we're going to see this rare 1-8 upset, I think this is one of the times that we will see it. My only issue with the Wizards is that you have a team that has had inner turmoil the whole season, injuries to their best player the whole season. John Wall's only been playing NBA basketball for 2 weeks. Now he's getting thrown into the playoffs. It's going to be tough for them to overcome. But I don't believe in Toronto. Toronto wins this series solely because the Wizards aren't put together. The Wizards win this series if somehow miraculously they get over all of their internal issues and lack of chemistry that they've been displaying the whole season.
I think I never have ever liked Toronto in the playoffs. They haven't done anything since maybe I don't know, Vince Carter. I don't even think they made the Eastern Conference Finals with Vince Carter. Especially this group right here: Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. Love the combo, but when the playoff starts and the lights get bright, them boys always seem to come up short. Let's not forget a couple years ago when Paul Pierce, as dude was like 47, walked in Toronto and pretty much just ran them in 4 games. That's exactly what it was. They always get past the first round. Second round, they run into some issues, and that's that. The last couple years. Now, as far as the Wizards, I don't know who this team is. This is the Wizards team that will beat the Warriors. They'll beat the Rockets. They'll take games from the Celtics and the Cavs, and then they lose to the Hawks. They lose to the Magic. They'll lose to the Lakers. Any bottom rung team out there, they just won't show up. So, with that being said, I think that the regular season to them is more so like a boredom thing. They're not very excited for it, and when the playoff starts, that's actually when they actually turn up. Also, in the same breath, I don't believe in the Wizards. I'm putting it out there. I don't believe in my boys, man. I don't believe in them.
What?
I don't believe in them. Now, I ain't saying they can't beat Toronto, but I don't believe in them. They show me nothing. I don't. First of all, you know how I feel about Gortat. Straight up, Gortat is a center from the 1970s, maybe in the 60s. He probably would have dominated with 9 points and 7 rebounds back then. The guy's done absolutely nothing for me. The guy's flat-footed as hell. I
Dominated.
don't want anything with Gortat. I'll party with Gortat. I'll kick it with Gortat. I don't want Gortat on my basketball team. And then who you bringing behind him? The black Gortat, Ian Mahimi, who's going to pay $16 million for some reason. Ernie Grunfeld, where you at? I come see you too. The bench besides Oubre and Mike Scott, that's not deep enough. And Jody Meeks just got suspended for 25 games for testing for steroids. I mean, you haven't done shit all season anyway. What the fuck you popping hot for? Having John Wall back is a great thing. You still got Satoransky there as well too. Otto Porter, if he was more aggressive, I probably would take the Wizards in this series. Unfortunately, the Wizards are such a weird team that they're a team that they could win this series in 5 games or they could get swept. That's how strange this team is to me. So, with that being said, I'm taking Toronto in 6. It pains me to say that with that flag behind me and this cup in my hand right here, but they're fucking up too. That's a story for another day. I just can't do it. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I love the Wizards. Shout out to y'all, but you got to show me something today. At 5:30 Eastern time, show me something. I'm done with this rant. I'm going to smoke this fucking black. Go ahead, Jair. You take this shit.
The last time Ricky and I predicted an upset, it was 16-1, the Kanye West bracket.
Uh-oh.
And we had New Workout Plan beating Touch the Sky. And wouldn't you know it, an hour later, we get an alert that UMBC, a 16 seed, is knocking off Virginia, the number 1 seed. Had never happened.
It was a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day. I am predicting the Wizards beat the Raptors in 6. Y'all are right. The Wizards are very bipolar. You don't know what you're going to get. They go hot. They go cold. But it's playoff basketball. And no one cares about a Tuesday night at Denver. Well, Denver did their thing this year. But that's not the case. You get extra rest. Starters come to play. This is where stars come to shine. And I like the Wizards backcourt better than the Raptors backcourt. We know John Wall shows up playoff time. We saw that last year. We know Bradley Beal can show up. I'm not confident in Kyle Lowry. I'm not confident in DeMar DeRozan. They need to prove me wrong at this point. It's been, 3-4 years now? Where every year they underperform in the playoffs?
Well, hold a second. I got to defend I might talk shit about them. I'm going to defend my Wizards real quick today, if you don't mind. The first year, they beat the Bulls. No one gave them a shot in that series at all. They beat them in 5 games. Should have really been a sweep, but they fucked up that 3rd game. The next year, then they went to they played the Pacers. The Pacers were number 1 seed. They had that roster: Paul George, David West, them guys. Who else? George Hill. It was a great team. They lost. They lost to 6. The next year, I believe they went back to the playoffs again, lost in the 2nd round. Then they missed the playoffs. Then they went back last year, and they had that series with the Celtics. They just didn't. They just shined when the lights were brightest. They could have won that series. Don't forget that first game when the Wizards was just dominating the Celtics. They went up like 16-0 in the first quarter. I was like, all right, bet we got this series right here. And then let them boys come back in. One thing about the Wizards that I love them, but I don't see any real leadership in that locker room. I would even advocate, or at least myself was advocating, they decided just like a veteran, like a Kendrick Perkins, just somebody to come in that locker room, just straighten shit out. Now, I don't want to see Kendrick Perkins on the court at all, but they need a strong locker room presence because I don't see. I love Wall, I love Bill, but I don't see them as actual leaders of men in that locker room. Gortat definitely.
What about
is
the
leader.
coach?
Scotty Brooks.
Yeah, you talking about. I understand you talking about player leadership, but it starts at the top. We know the organization from the owner to the GM.
Don't bring up the GM,
really
please.
Their job. Yeah, okay. So we know that. So let's go down to the next level where we have the coach. For the most part, the Wizards have employed, beta males as their head coaches. No one's that's going to go against the grain. No Greg Popovich type personality types, right? And then that trickles down into the locker room. John has not had a structure where he can develop as a leader, and neither has Bradley Beal. And most of these young men in the NBA aren't leaders. So let's be real about that. We could probably name the true leaders in the NBA players from the player standpoint on one hand.
What do you think is going to happen in this series? What do you think is going to happen today?
Today, I think that the Wizards do have a shot. I'm with Jair. So, like I said earlier, they've had issues all season. It's hard to imagine a team who has stumbled. I believe they lost I think they lost like 14 out of the last 21 to end the season. So you've tumbled from 4th place all the way down to 8th, barely, like you pretty much backed your way into the playoffs, right? So that's not good for momentum. But they're going against a team who is sweet for it. The Toronto Raptors, we don't trust them in the playoffs. They've never proven anything in the playoffs. Let me throw a couple stats out to you as to why I believe the Wizards have a real shot. So like I said, they split the two teams split the season series 2-2. John Wall didn't play. John Wall averages 25 points, 10 assists, 5.7 rebounds against the Raptors in 2016-2017. MVP numbers against the Raptors, right? Bradley Beal averages 22.6 points per game this season, and Toronto's best player, DeMar DeRozan, averages 23 points per game. This is not going to be a high-scoring game, which the Wizards will struggle with playing against high-scoring teams. It's going to be a low-scoring series with no defense, if that makes sense to anybody. Their highest scoring player on Toronto only scores 23 points per game, and he doesn't shoot threes. Bradley Beal scores 22. that's enough to counteract DeMar DeRozan. You throw John Wall into that mix, even if they're not playing with the best of chemistry at this time. This is a team that's very beatable for the Wizards. So I agree, the Wizards have a good shot to win this series in 6 games. If it goes to a 7th game, I'll give the edge to Toronto, but I'm taking the Wizards.
What about the bench? The Wizards bench versus that Toronto bench. Toronto bench averaging 50 points a game. Wizard bench, you're lucky to get 20 on some nights.
Jair, this is a layup. Jair, you want to handle this?
So, yeah, I want to take a step back. He kind of stole my thunder. I was going to talk about what makes playoff basketball so much different than regular season basketball, because it's 2 totally different sports in essence. Number one,
right.
The defensive intensity goes through the roof. Like regular season, no one plays defense. Playoffs, that's the first thing your eyes will notice. People in defensive stands, people communicating better on pick and roll coverage. Defense goes up. Number 2, the best player on the court on both teams typically wins. Typically, I'm just going to go that. But here's another thing that people, I think, forget. Bench rotation gets cut come playoff time. In the regular season, when you want a back-to-back and you're playing 3 and 4 nights, you're going to stretch that bench. You're playing 9, 10 guys. Playoff time, that's going to get cut to 8, maybe 9. There's no more back-to-backs. There's no more 3 and 4 nights. You get extra day of travel. So your starters get to play more minutes. So while the Raptors have a better bench than the Wizards, I like the Wizards starting 5 much better than the Raptors starting 5. And I think that bench is going to get cut. I don't think it's going to be as big as an impact as you would think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if I like the Wizards starting 5 more than Toronto's. I think it kind of evens out in a sense. But to your point, the 50-point advantage coming from the bench is not really going to matter as much because your starters are going to be playing a lot more minutes. The thing is John Wall ready for playoff intensity basketball?
Yeah, he's always, yeah. I'm not worried about John Wall at all. What I'm worried about is like Markieff Morris. I'm worried about Otto Porter a little bit. I need those guys to show up and be aggressive. I need Otto Porter to shoot. Honestly, I want to see Otto Porter get about 15 shots a game in this series. Because that man from 3-point is deadly. I need to see more of those. I need at least 5, 6 attempts from him from 3. If that happens, and Oubre comes to play too, and they've been here before. Both these teams have been here before. They've been deep in the second round. Now it's unfortunate they're playing each other in the first round, but we'll see what happens. I'm still sticking by the Raptors in 6, but of course I'll be rooting for DC all day. You already know that, baby.
Yeah. I mean, it's, it could go either way this series. You get Toronto, you got to give them credit. They held together the entire season and they grabbed the best record in the Eastern Conference, whereas the Wizards deserve the 8th seed for how they perform. Now, does that translate in these one-on-one matchups? I don't think so. I think the Wizards have a little more. And if John Wall is ready, I think they take the series.
Okay. Any final thoughts, Jair?
Yeah, I don't think the records are indicative of the quality of these 2 teams. I don't think the Raptors, they don't scream number 1 seed to me. And when I look at the Wizards, the eyeball test tells me they're better than an 8 seed. Wizards in 6.
All right. We'll go with that. All right. Next, Celtics Bucks, which I think. Anybody, somebody.
I'll take this one. So we got the Celtics. Them just being here, of course, how the season started. Shout out to them, the mental toughness. Love their coach, Brad Stevens. He is a elite head coach in my eyes. You got Milwaukee, of course, the Greek Freak, Mr. Box Office right now. He is must-watch television. I think very highly of Giannis. I'm not even going to try to say that last name. Antetokounmpo. I think it's pretty safe to say Giannis is the best player on the court. So this is really interesting because I just brought up how I typically go with the best player on the court. But I'm going to go Celtics here. And I'm going to go Celtics in 5. I think the coaching and the roster and everything that goes into it.
5.
Celtics in 5.
That's interesting. What do you think, Teddy?
Yeah, this one's another tough series to predict. I'm with Jair. I think Brad Stevens is the X factor in this series, mainly because the Bucks don't have a coach. They pretty much gave up on their season midway through, firing their head coach. I guess
didn't agree with that at all.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know I'm not going to pretend to know the inner workings of the Milwaukee Bucks, but they felt it was a move they had to do. I viewed it from the outside looking in as, not necessarily a tank, but they pretty much, gave themselves a mulligan on this season. Anyway, you do have a supreme talent in Giannis, but Giannis hasn't proven anything in the playoffs to me. So I'm not going to hang my hat on him. Brad Stevens and the Celtics have. They finished with the number one overall record, I believe, last year. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They had the experience, and they've also pretty much lucked up with, or maybe, it's just, great GMing, something we wouldn't know about here in DC, by getting these young players who are ready to play. We've shown that, you know, they're veterans in their first and second year. You have Jaylen Brown, who's a second year player. People forget about that. Jason Tatum, who's a rookie, who, if it wasn't for, Ben Simmons in his second year, kind of leading the way for rookie of the year, we'd be talking about Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. So they still have talent, even with the injuries to Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, and they have the experience. So you got to go Celtics. In 5 games, we don't have Kyrie on the floor or Gordon Hayward. So I'll say 6 games. I believe the Bucks can get 1 or 2. But it's also a hard thing. You go down 2-0 in a series, your ownership doesn't really have faith in you. I'm talking about the Bucks here. Do you tank it? Are you making early vacation plans? We'll see what kind of heart the Bucks have, but they're going down in this series. I predict 4-2.
The X factor of the series is Terry Rozier.
Rozier.
Yeah, that's my nickname. Hey, that man right there. Hey, his life story is incredible too. If you ever get a chance to look it up, just look at his life story on YouTube. It's out there. With that being said, that man right there, the way he's been balling since Kyrie's been down, is amazing. I wouldn't be surprised right now. What's that?
All season.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, all season. I won't be surprised. Honestly, he may not be in the Celtics next year. That's not a bad trade chip, but we're not talking about that right now. Like I said, I think he's the X factor. Him versus Bledsoe's gonna be a great matchup. Bledsoe, what is he like in the playoffs? Have we ever seen Bledsoe in the playoffs in the starting role that he is now?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. Because we was
with Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix was winning shit. Who else? The Clippers.
He might have played. He might have played with the Clippers.
Yeah, but you said Chris Paul right there too.
Yeah.
And he was with the Pelicans for a while, or the Hornets, or whatever they called back then. When he was there. I mean, he was doing anything then.
Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful.
Jair's a big Pelicans fan for the people out there. I think Rozier is the man right here. I think he's gonna have a great series. I like to see his assist numbers get up a little bit more, but that team plays so well as a unit, and that's all praises to Brad Stevens. Well, you got a coach like that, an elite coach who's been on pretty much on the stage since he's came in coaching at Butler, in the NBA. The guy's a winner, man. And that bench, that team, they play so well as a unit. They remind me of the Rockets back in like the 08, 09 era when they played against the Lakers, the Kobe Lakers, when they took them to 7 games, when they had Ron Artest and Aaron Brooks. That's what the Celtics teams kind of remind me.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, just the way they move the ball, the way they get around. I would have loved to see Gordon Hayward and Kyrie in the playoffs. I like to see the best players play, but unfortunately, injuries succumb to them. In fact, I'm gonna say it right now. Give me the Celtics in 5. The Bucks, Giannis. I mean, it's a playoffs. I don't care about the regular season. Guys take nights off. Guys are injured. Like I said, rotations. This is where everything matters. Giannis is gonna have to play about 40 minutes a game. Can he handle it? That's a lot of minutes. Maybe more than that on some nights. Maybe up to 45. That is the only way they can win this series right here. If Bledsoe comes and just balls out, and Giannis is who we think he is, then maybe they have a chance. I don't give it to him
to win this series.
To win the series, I don't give it
to
him.
Chance.
No, I don't give him a chance at all. And I don't want to be that disrespectful. You know what? Yeah, I am be that disrespectful.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Like no chance.
5
bruh.
games. Yeah. I ain't doing that. 5 games. It's me. 5 games. 5 games for the Celtics. I got nothing more to say on that.
I was really high on the Bucks heading into the season. What's happened has been really disappointing to me. Having said that, win or lose, this is big time for Giannis. I think he's gonna ball out. I think I'm higher in him than both of y'all, and that's totally fine. But he should ball out, even in loss and defeat, a la Kobe style. We know that Laker team had no chance, but Kobe was doing everything in his power. Giannis needs to ball out, win or
He has
lose.
to.
He
He
needs to
has
ball
to.
out.
He has to. That's the only way they have a shot. They may get a
What do you
six.
mean
I
he?
agree.
Okay,
What's up, Teddy?
so he has to ball out for them to have a chance, is what you mean, or he
Yeah,
has to ball out for his reputation.
both. Well, he's not like on the hot seat, right? He's not. This isn't LeBron 2010 kind of moment or 2011, I should say. But to the naysayers who say you haven't shown me playoff time, well, this is that moment. Regular season stats are nice. We love it, but this is a whole another level. I want to see him ball out, and I think he will. But he needs to show up.
We'll see. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Teddy, you got any final thoughts on it?
Yeah, just that, um, like I said, a lot of these matchups are really intriguing. This is not one of them to me, but one thing to kind of look out for. Bledsoe, even though he plays a point guard position, I don't consider him a true point guard. And at this point, I don't think the Celtics have a true point guard either. So it'll be interesting to see, what kind of defensive battle this series turns into. I want to see if the Bucks have heart. That's something I just don't believe that they have shown. I've seen a few games from them. It's the Giannis show, but they're not going to win in the playoffs that way. And not only that, you get exposed in the playoffs, and people will really see how shitty your team is because you're playing against other teams who are fighting for something. This isn't, you're not playing a team coming off a back-to-back and you're fresh. You're not playing a team that is tanked. And when we talk about Philly, we'll get into that. You're not playing against a team who's tanking. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a true coach versus coach, strategy versus strategy, and who wants it. Even though you may not be as talented as the team you're facing, you're going to play with some type of self-respect and self-pride. And so that's what I want to see out the Bucks, but I don't think they have a chance in this series.
Same. Okay. All right. This next series is very interesting to me. Philly versus Miami. What y'all boys think?
Ooh. This is, like I said, this is going to be a great first round. This is another 2-2 regular season split. You have the veteran-laden Miami Heat. Dwayne Wade is back where he belongs. He's looking healthy. They've looked like they've managed his minutes well. I do think there is a little bit of contention between Dwayne Wade coming in and some of these young guys, because they brought up a lot of guys through the draft and young guys to replace D Wade. And now he's back taking some of their minutes, kind of stunting their growth in a sense. But it's Dwayne Wade.
Who's growth? What position? You talking about that boy Johnson?
Richard? No. He's a power forward.
No.
Richardson?
No, Tyler Johnson.
Oh, Tyler Johnson? Not necessarily Tyler Johnson. He's more of a point guard to me. But when Dwayne Wade is coming in the game now, he's settled into his 6-man role. I mean, he saw how bad it could get playing at Cleveland. So he's accepted this 6-man role, which he kind of didn't want to do when he went to Chicago. If you remember those locker room issues with Rondo and some of the young players in Chicago. Not saying that they have these major issues in Miami, but you are stunting the growth of some of the young players when you give Dwayne Wade so many minutes. That being said, Dwayne Wade is a 3-time champion. He's a veteran. He presents some of those same characteristics and intangibles that you want on the Wizards team. You have Hassan Whiteside, a 7-footer. You got James Jones, big guy who goes after it. You have the pieces to make the series a very grinded out, defensive, minded, mental war type of series. And is Philly ready for that? They have talent, but they don't have that experience. I think it's going to be a hard-fought series, depending on when Joel Embiid comes back, because I personally think he's the best player in this series. I think that Miami may surprise some people and give Philly a run for their money. It won't be an easy series like most people have predicted. So I see Philly eventually winning out when Embiid comes back, and I take this as like a 7-game series. Miami always plays tough in the playoffs. So 7-game series, Philly.
Okay. Jair?
There's a lot of good stuff said there. Embiid being out, we don't know, is the biggest X factor. When will he show up? We know he's not. We know he's out for game 1. We don't know if he's going to be ready for game 2, game 3. That's a huge.
I heard game 2 he should be back, but I gotta look that up real quick.
Yeah, I'm reading. I got this thing from CBS Sports. Embiid quoted saying, "I don't think I'm ready to play." He says, "Sports Illustrated, it doesn't feel all the way right." Now that was said March 31st. I mean, it's the 14th, but we'll see what happens. The two best, if healthy, the two best players on the court are Embiid, and Ben Simmons is better now than Dwayne Wade is today. Not all time. I'm just talking about today. Ben Simmons is a better player than Dwayne Wade is. Dwayne Wade might be looking fresh, but from what I've seen, it looks like he's definitely lost his step. But this is
Wade might not even be the fifth best player in this series.
yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
But this is the youthful team that has it all buzzing, and then you've got this experienced team that's been there, that's been battle tested, that has that experience, and that matters come playoff time. If Embiid was healthy, let me take a step back. Let's talk about coaching. I'm very high on Eric Spoelstra. I think what he does with that roster, I don't think he got enough credit for the LeBron team there that won those championships, what he instilled in them defensively.
And last year too, when they won
last year
30 of their last 42 games or 41 games.
And then the year before, when they took the Raptors to 7 in I think it was the semi-conference finals. I think Eric Spoelstra is very underrated when it comes to when we talk about head coaches. If Embiid was healthy, I'd take Philly in 5. I really would. I think they're that much talented. I really don't think it's that close. But with Embiid being out, I'll go Philly in 6. I think it's just too much talent at the end of the day.
I think the Heat are going to win this series. I got the Heat in 6. I love Philly in a regular season. I said before the season even started, I think they could hit that 4th seed just based on the potential they have in that roster. I love Ben Simmons. I love Embiid, but Embiid's not playing. Is he going to play game 2? I was reading a little bit right now. If he can even get out there, he will play. But with that being said, this team has almost little to no experience in the playoffs. You're going against Gordon Dragic, who's extremely crafty, and battle tested as well too. That's the word we're using. Wade, that leadership champion mindset in that locker room and on the court too. The guys been playing pretty well since went back to Miami. And one thing about Miami, they have a lot of Swiss Army knives on their team. A lot of 6'8", 6'7" swingmen that you can just throw at people. I like Richardson. I like what's that team? I like what's that guy's name? Bam. I like Bam a lot. I love God, what's the other guy's name? James Johnson. I like his game. Hassan Whiteside. Hassan Whiteside to me is the X factor for this one right here. Hassan's going to show out in the series. He's going to get Rashawn Holmes for the Sixers. At least for the couple games, or at least until Embiid gets back. And I think Hassan's going to come. He's going to bring that game. Everybody's picking Philly, but no one's giving any respect to Miami. And I feel that a lot of people haven't watched Miami play. They're a lot better. And I know the Bill Parcells, your record is what your record shows, but Miami's a good team. They're a good team. They play against Cleveland. I think they would take Cleveland in the first round to a 7-game series. I see the Heat winning this one right here. I like everything they're about. The Sixers, they're not battle tested with the playoffs, but we've shown before, like I said, with the Wizards and the Bulls back in the 2014 season, it doesn't really matter. I'm just curious to see how they play. They got the top seed. They have home court advantage. That Philly crowd is crazy. They're gonna be out there rapping for their people. They've been winning almost everything. This state's been winning almost everything this year. Football, even Penn State won the NIT. Nova. They, of course, how they their season turned out. The fans are going to be there, but that can only take you but so far. You still got to put the ball in the hoop. And when you got that boy Whiteside back there, they ain't going to give you nothing easy at the rim. And you don't have like I said, I love Holmes, but he's not an Embiid. I got to take the Heat in 6. I think they're going to split in Philly. I think the Heat are going to win both games in Miami. They'll go back to Philly. They'll win a game, and the Heat close them out on their home court.
Wow, you have Miami winning.
I got Miami winning. I like Miami's roster a lot. I don't believe besides Ben Simmons, who else in that roster really scares me? Embiid scares the hell out of me. But besides that, who's gonna scare me? JJ Redick?
To be honest, Ben Simmons doesn't scare me. He's not a player that scares me. I'm not scared Ben Simmons is going to carry his team and score 35, 12, and 12. That's not what I'm worried about. If Ben Simmons is running the point guard and trying to get his stats during the playoffs, and I'm the Heat, I'm fine with that because I can shut down the rest of his guys, these catch and shoot guys. I can shut down JJ Redick. I can shut down Covington. When it comes to the Heat, like you said before, you have a lot of these 6'8", 6'7", 6'9" type guys that are going to make it tough for Covington to shoot over, make it tough for Redick to shoot over. Then you have the X factor of Hassan Whiteside. There are not too many people who can battle down low with Joel Embiid when he does come back. Joel Embiid is a much better player than Whiteside, but Whiteside still makes it difficult for him, and he'll wear Embiid down on the other end. So I'm with you. Miami Heat, they do have a great shot. One last point I want to make, Philly has really gotten a lot of hype because of the end of their season, and deservedly so, but it is hype at the end of the day.
Talk about 16
it. They won 16 straight games, right? That's
right.
what we're talking about. We're talking about Ben Simmons, a second-year player, winning Rookie of the Year. During this 16-game win streak, Ben Simmons led his Philadelphia 76ers, but they only won 3 games against a playoff-bound team in this 16-game winning streak. So what does that really mean? You beat up on tanking teams, bad teams that had already had vacation plans ready. Not to take away from their accomplishment, they are a young team, but let's just remember that. I still have them winning in this series. I know I said 7 games, but if it goes to Game 7, I mean, Rick, you convinced me. I think the Heat can take it, but I just feel like Philly has too much talent at this point, so I have them in 6. If it goes to 7, all bets are off. It's probably going to be Miami.
Who is their talent that can create shots for them? Who's creating the shots off the ball?
For Philly?
That catch and shoot shit's not gonna work in the playoffs. You got guys playing tight defense. Yeah, for Philly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Ben Simmons. You can shut other guys down because Ben Simmons isn't going to stretch the floor.
Right.
He's a facilitator, but he's not even a consistent mid-range shooter. He's either left-handed or right-handed. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if he knows what he is. So you're not going to get a consistent scoring effort from him. But he can put up numbers because he's a great talent. But, in the playoffs, we game plan for a guy like Ben Simmons. So it's not going to be the same type of production.
Right. And Spoelstra, like Jaya said, is a great coach. He's probably top 5 in the NBA. Yeah, I don't have Philly. I like Philly a lot. I like them in the future. I think they're going to be a great team, but they need more. I think Fultz, everything that's going with him. If I could have got a 4 season with Fultz, because Fultz can create his own shot. To me, he's like a Dame Lillard type prospect. I just wish he would have played the whole season. Right. But that being said, I don't see who on Philly is going to create their own shot and take it to the hole. And you don't have Embiid either.
Rick, Jair, quick question. I've been wanting to know this: is Markelle Fultz a bust?
Well, I mean, it's only his rookie year, so even if he didn't play, I wouldn't call him a bust.
Nah, I wouldn't call him a bust. He was injured. Something was wrong with his shoulder, affected his shot. Then it was like a lot of mystery around that. Sending Twitter messages out to passive aggressive Robert Griffin type. It was just weird, man. But I mean, he looked good when he came back. He got the triple double at the end of the season. But I mean, the last since All-Star break, their competition has been horrific. I mean, it's just how the schedule is. But they haven't really played against anybody. I mean, they had a game against Cleveland. We're going to Cleveland next, but Cleveland is like a Cleveland team of the past. This isn't like a juggernaut that they once were. It's LeBron and a bunch of other guys, and maybe Kevin Love. So I see the hype behind Philly. They got those 2 young guys that could ball out, but they needed someone like a Fultz, someone that could create their own shot and get their own baskets. And I don't see it on that roster right there. JJ Redick's not going to do it. Bellinelli's not going to do it. Covington's not going to get it for you. It is what it is. Give me the Heat in 6.
So who did you have, Jair?
Oh, I have Philly in 6.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to bring up something real quick. Y'all brought up these tweeners that the Heat have between 6'6" and 6'8". And that's great and all, but Ben Simmons is 6'10". So even if you switch the pick and roll, there's still a huge mismatch. This isn't the Warriors where you can supposedly switch onto Steph Curry and be like, well, we'll deal with the consequences later. No, this is still a direct mismatch. Even if you put a 6'8" guy, Simmons is still taller. He's still bigger. He's still faster. I think this comes down to, but y'all brought up Redick can't really get his own shot. Covington can't get up his own shot. So it's going to come with no Embiid in game 1. It's gonna be really eager to see how Spoelstra game plans, because Simmons gonna have the ball. He's gonna be the ball handler. We know that. So he needs to be great to allow Redick on the corner and Covington on the corner to shine. Because if Simmons does his thing, the team does their thing. But if Simmons mid range isn't dropping, if Spoelstra forces him, I think he's left-handed, forces him right. I gotta check on that. A la Popovich to LeBron in 2007 finals, then the whole offense stutters. So this is really comes a very early test for Simmons, and I'm excited to see it.
A lot of pressure on the rookie. We'll see if the man can deliver. If he could deliver for this series right here, man, that mean a lot. That mean a lot to me if he could go out and beat the Heat, because essentially it's him and a bunch of other guys without Embiid.
I think he has a lot more to prove than Giannis, even in his first/second year, in my opinion, especially without Embiid. People want to see what the hype is about. People want to see this kid who, turned his nose up at the NCAA tournament. Who talked about how he should have been a professional as a high school player, who came into the Philadelphia 76ers organization as the #1 pick with all this hype. There's a lot of attention Ben Simmons' way. And this is what the playoffs is all about, seeing, the growth, the emergence of, the next big thing.
Okay. Any final thoughts? I'm good to go on that one.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Let's go Heat.
Yeah. All right. So the final matchup in the Eastern Conference, Cavaliers Pacers. Teddy, Jair, what y'all think?
LeBron in 4. Do I need to expand?
Yes.
This is.
I think you do need to expand because, like I said, this isn't the Cavs team from the past. It's LeBron.
You're right.
What he said.
Too. And I said LeBron in 4. Realize I did not say Cavs in 4. I said
to
LeBron.
be fair, that's what he said.
Yeah, he did say LeBron in 4.
I said LeBron in 4.
I got my own spill about that one, but that's all you want to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna let LeBron speak for me.
Okay.
Throughout the game. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a gentleman's sweep. Cavs in 5. I think because the Pacers played the Cavs tough this year. Let's not take that to the side right there. But Oladipo is the best player in the Pacers. I like the guy. He's from the area, Washington D.C. area. But it's LeBron in the first round, and LeBron is a loser in the first round. And arguably, LeBron is the MVP of the league this year. Played all 82 games. Knock that out there. That's stigma. He's playing great basketball. I just need to see guys in Rodney Hood step up. These guys don't have too much playoff experience under their belt playing major minutes. I need to see Kevin Love. I need to see Kevin Love get out there. I need to see him at 3. I need to see him on the post. I need to see him hustling for boards. They got Miles Turner. Miles Turner ain't no slouch. He's gonna come to ball as well too. Oladipo's gonna do his thing, but yeah, Cavs in 5, man. It's LeBron. I ain't got really too much to say about that one. I'm not gonna argue here for the Pacers. I think they take 1 because the Cavs aren't what they're not who they used to be. But you still got LeBron. When you got LeBron on your team, you don't lose in the first round.
Yeah, that's actually I believe that's a scientific fact.
Proven over 14 years.
Indiana, Cleveland. So yet again, there's another series that it seems like LeBron is just going to steamroll through. I could see that, but it's nice to see Victor Oladipo kind of have a redemption season here after kind of being tossed to the side, having his Westbrook year. Former Pacer Paul George is going through that this year, but it's good to see this guy emerge. He'll likely win the Most Improved Player award. There's some matchups here in this series that should make it intriguing, but at the end of the day, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the best player on the floor who controls games. He's not just the best defensive player or a great point guard or what have you. He'll actually control the pace of the game. And so, the Cavs, I got them in 5. Not really much to talk about, except for you want to see what goes on with these new Cavs players who don't have too much playoff experience, because at this point you're kind of projecting who the Cavs will face in the second and possibly third round. And if these guys can step up, we're looking at Jordan Clarkson, who brings about 13 points off the bench. Is he going to be able to do that in the playoffs? We're looking at Kevin Love and his health, and is he this spot up shooter? Is he going to get down low? We don't know yet. And then on Indiana side, we don't have much experience there either. It's going to be a lot of these guys first time under the bright lights, and you get to play LeBron's team. So I have the Cavs in 5.
Yeah, good luck on that one. All right, Cavs in 5 all the way around. That was an easy one. All right, let's move on to the West. Shout out to the West, baby. Rockets,
Okay.
Timberwolves. Jair, hey, you're big on the Western Conference. What do you think about that one?
Oh, the Western Conference, the wild, wild West indeed, to the very last day of the season. That 3 through the 9 seed was ridiculous.
Hey, real
Throughout.
talk though. Let's talk about something real quick. That Denver Timberwolves game. What you think about that one? Essentially, that was a playoff game.
Yeah. Best player went out. You like they're both talented, but I just feel like when you look at Minnesota's roster, they both have first round talent, but Minnesota has first pick overall first round talent versus Denver.
Yeah, easy way to put it. Best player on the team always wins. All right, Jair. Rockets, Timberwolves. Who you got?
That was well said, by the way. I got to give a shout out. That was really well said.
It's,
Rockets,
it's the writer in me, man.
Hey.
Pen game strong. Rockets, of course, the CP3 edition, the James Harden, the Clint Capella just playing out of his mind in that steroid Tyson Chandler role, so to speak. That full court offense, that 7 seconds or less offense, versus Tom Thibodeau, the lead assistant on that Celtic championship team, by the way. He doesn't get credit for that. Defensive minded, grind it out, loves playoff basketball. Unfortunately, his players don't really play defense outside of Jimmy Butler. Cat defensively, this is too big of a weakness. On pick and roll defense, Karl Anthony Towns, as much as I love him, just his foot speed is just too slow. He's going to get exposed in pick and roll. It's going to be a short series. I'll give Minnie a win. I'll give him that game 3 win at home. Gentleman sweep. Rockets 5.
The good old gentleman sweep. Okay, all right. So first of all, let's put some respect on the Timberwolves. First and foremost, that team is don't forget they were missing Jimmy Butler a lot at the end of the season. I think they can make a little bit more noise than just a gentleman sweep. I think the Timberwolves can get 2 wins. Now, with me saying that, of course, with me, I got the Rockets in 6. Where you're going against James Harden, Jimmy Butler's going to have to guard him. Can Jimmy Butler slow? You can't stop James Harden. Can he slow down James Harden?
Yes.
And if you could slow down James Harden, who is the other threat out there towards you? It's Chris Paul, right?
One of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Can Jeff Teague play some good defense? Or they can play some team defense, even in the pick and roll, against Chris Paul?
No.
That right there, I agree with. That is the X factor. Jimmy Butler can slow down James Harden, but we got Chris Paul, all the pick and roll, diving, gut through the lane, then he's just lobbing up to Clint Capella. I mean, how are you stopping that?
You're not. I mean, this is
Exactly.
why the Rockets are who they are.
Exactly.
Right.
But I still will give the Timberwolves 2 games, and they'll make it interesting. I like Cat. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm a huge fan. I think he could dominate his matchup against Clint Capella. He could stretch the floor out. Clint Capella doesn't want to go out that far. He's got a little gore tied in him, at 17 feet. It's like in a force field, and he doesn't want to go out that far at all. He can shoot the 3. He can take it inside. Cat's going to have to be huge for this series for him to win, because you're not going to stop Harden. Jimmy Butler could slow him down. You're not going to stop Chris Paul. And then on the outside, you got just a whole bunch of shooters just ready to go. The difference between Philly and the Rockets is that you have a legitimate point guard that can slice and dice you up, score himself from almost anywhere in the court, and then as soon as you try to trap him down, he's going to pass out to somebody. Gerald Green's going to be there ready to shoot, Tay just walked off for a second. We keep talking. I just don't see it, man. I don't see how it's going to happen. I'll still give the Timberwolves 2 games. I think they're that tough. You still got Crawford off the bench. Put some respect on my man. He's 37. He's a little bit old, but you can say, hey, it's playoff basketball. Strange things happen. You have heroes in series that come out of nowhere. Which I think.
All right. Look, Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, I want
Go
to go
ahead.
in on me. Come on, bring it.
Oh, I don't want to even get to Jamal Crawford. I think Crawford is one of the most overrated. He is a volume shooter, and his stats are awful.
You are
They're
so
just
disrespectful
awful.
to
No,
what that
I
man can
speak
do
the
in big
truth.
games.
The truth hurts. It hurts
That's
sometimes. Look
that's
at
the
his
human
stats.
mixtape.
Yes, his highlight reels are phenomenal, but his actual game day performance, game to game, leaves a lot to be desired. But we'll talk about that another day.
We're going to talk about that today.
I have bigger fish to fry here. So we talked about defensively, Jimmy on Chris Paul. I'm sorry, Jimmy on James Harden.
Right.
I would love to see Wiggins on CP3.
I didn't bring up Wiggins. I was saving that one, but go on.
And we have talked about these players that were hyped that need to show up. We brought up Giannis. We brought up Ben Simmons. We brought up Embiid. Wiggins has shown the least out of all that group, especially on the defensive end of the floor. He is lazy. He does not give it his all, and I hate it because he should be a prominent defensive player. He should be second team all defense. He has the athletic ability to be great on the defensive end of the floor, but he
Should be a
hasn't done it.
Kawhi Leonard.
He should. Maybe he doesn't got the muscle yet, but just pure athletic, quick twitch muscle kind of thing going on. I would love to see Wiggins on CP3. But I think we forget that the game of basketball isn't played one-on-one defensively. And so you brought up team difference with Jeff Teague. That's why I come back to Cat. And Cat is awful on pick and roll defense. And that weakness is what the Rockets do best. And while Cat might ball on the offense end of the floor, and I expect him to, and he should get his over Capella, I just think defensively, it's just too much. And so because of that, I agree with you, Ricky, that if you look at the team's talent and you don't analyze it, it should be Rockets in 6. But I think when you get into the X's and O's, I think it leans towards the Rockets even more so. So that's why I got Rockets 5.
Yeah, I don't trust Cat in the pick and roll. That's what said that as soon as that Chris Paul gets in the paint, lobs of the Capella. That's just too easy right there. We've seen that all season. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a little bit more interesting. People are giving it to be. I like the Timberwolves. I don't like them in this matchup against the Rockets though. So yeah, I'll give them 2 games though. I'll give them 2.
Let me jump in here with my 2 cents. So I'm kind of upset right now that you two brothers, it took 10 minutes into this Minnesota Rockets discussion before somebody mentioned the shooters. Come on, man. Chris Paul can get double teamed. James Harden can get double teamed, but they won't. You know why? Because you got 3 to 4 other guys without the ball who are knockdown shooters at this point. Even their worst shooter, I'm blanking on his name, number 4 with the shoes.
PJ Tucker?
PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker's hitting the corner 3 at this point. You can't double team those guys. That's why James Harden is having the MVP season that he's having. I think James Harden was in the running for MVP the last 3 out of the 4 years. To me, he should have 2 coming into this, after this year. But that's neither here nor there. James Harden gets one-on-one matchups. He gets to hold the ball for 10, 15 seconds and work on his man one-on-one. And then if you do come to help, there's a lob going up or there's a kick out to a 3-point shooter. That's what makes him so tough. Secondly, as far as the Minnesota Timberwolves are concerned, defensively, they're below league average. I know people love Thibodeau for what he did in Boston, but that ship has sailed. He was with a group of veteran-laden players. It was a veteran-laden team. So they embraced defense. They knew what it took to win, and they had gone through the battles of not winning and all that pain and all of that. So they were willing to play defense. These young guys don't want to do that. They want to play like Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors, even though they don't have 2 of the greatest shooters in the history of the game on their team. So everybody wants to play like the Warriors. They want to play like Houston. They're not giving the effort that Thibodeau needs them to give for him to maximize his talent as a coach and then to maximize his scheme. This is why they have the issues that they have, and this is why they will either get a gentleman's sweep or a complete sweep. Last thing about the Rockets that, again, like with Cleveland and looking ahead, we're looking at the Rockets to get to the finals possibly. That's going to be their goal. That's the goal everybody's expecting from the Rockets to eventually win the championship, especially after the year they've had, especially with the MVP performance from James Harden. But James Harden and Chris Paul need to prove that they're killers in the playoffs. They haven't done that. We see that they're very talented. If you saw the Rockets Lakers game recently, where Chris Paul is throwing it between dudes' legs and fadeaway
That
threes
was
and making
stupid.
that's
Zubac.
ridiculous to an NBA an NBA player. You did that too, right? We
Hey! But this out there though, that guy's Gort. He's like a young Gortat. Zubac's like a
chill,
young Gortat. So I mean, it
chill,
ain't too
man.
hard.
It's not, yeah, but you see what I'm saying. They have talent, they have skills, they can make guys look silly, all of that. They're impressive in a regular open run and gun type of game. But when it comes to the playoffs, neither of them have shown us that they can put on that Mamba mentality and do that kind of stuff for the team to win in crunch time. And that's what I'm looking for with these two players. Even in the first round, I think that they will sweep. If not, Minnesota will get one game. But in crunch time, how are these guys performing? Is James Harden settling down and making good decisions, or is he trying to flop his way to the line and get bailed out by the refs? Is CP3 over dribbling, or is he running an offense and making crisp, quick decisions? So this is what we're looking for the Rockets. They're good defensively, believe it or not. James Harden, I've seen him play a pretty good defense. It's the effort thing with him, but I've seen him get involved on defense. So, there's a willingness there. But for this first round, I don't see Minnesota as a good team, to be honest. And I see the Rockets kind of winning this fairly easily. 6 games would be that would kind of crush their momentum. So I'm saying 5, best case scenario for the Rockets.
I think you convinced me to do at least a gentleman sweep because all your points are right. I mean, it's a place in the Rockets. I was looking at the roster. We even mentioned Trevor Ariza. Still got
Eric
Ryan
Gordon.
Anderson there. Yeah, Eric Gordon. Yeah, I'll switch it up. I'll go 5. I'll give the Timberwolves one game. And I give them a game in Minnesota. Just the crowd. Probably their back against the wall. You know how that thing usually goes. Let's talk Wiggins real quick. What does this series mean for him and his maybe even legacy?
No, not legacy. I would say whether or not he's going to be with Minnesota for the foreseeable future. I don't think either of those young players, nor Towns, enjoy playing for Thibodeau.
So this game's more on Tibbs' future than anything.
Wiggins came out this season and said, he thinks he should be more of a focal point on the offense. They have Jimmy Butler, who essentially, again, stunt young peak players' growth. I mean, these super teams aren't all they're cracked up to be. You can't be you on a super team. You got to fit into a role and play with another quote unquote all-star / superstar.
Chris
Wiggins
Bosh.
is still trying to figure himself out as a young player, and you bring in Jimmy Butler, who Thibodeau feels comfortable with. This was a Thibodeau move, just like bringing Derrick Rose was a Thibodeau move. So whose team is it? It's Thibodeau's team. Is that going to win them championships and playoff series? I don't think so. Not with the actual players not buying into it being Thibodeau's team.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I like Wiggins a lot, but Wiggins just he doesn't need everything he has around him. It needs to be his team completely. And let's see what Wiggins can do. Now, I like the Jimmy Butler trade, but yeah, you're right. It does stunt growth, and moves like that aren't great for the long-term development of a player. Yeah, I'll go Rockets in 5. I think they just drop one game just in Minnesota. They probably have off shooting night or something happens.
Where does Cat rank as far as best young big man?
Best young big man, you gotta give me Embiid for sure. I'm thinking off the top right now. Well, I think because the big man today's game is different than like the '90s, of course. I'm just throwing names out there. No ranking right now. Capella, I thought there as well too. I'm going up and down the list. Help me out here.
Gobert, we got Gobert.
Yeah, Gobert for sure.
Anthony Davis is still young. I don't think he's 25 yet.
I don't think Davis really counts anymore. I think he's kind of transcend that one right there.
As he's still
Jair,
young.
I want to say something. I mean, yeah. Is he? Yeah, but he's like a top 5 player at this point.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, do you consider Anthony Davis young? Because if you do,
Yeah.
then I think Anthony Davis is. Oh, then in that case, I would put Anthony Davis
Would you
above
consider
Cat.
Bradley Beal still young?
But age wise, he is. I know that.
They came out of the same draft.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
Beal's what, like
yeah,
24? Am I wrong there?
young
Yeah, he
shooting
also has
guard.
like
Yeah,
5 seasons in him too. I could say a young player, like like 2, 3 seasons. You about five hitting those 6 seasons. You've been seasoned the playoffs a couple years. I mean, how young really are you?
this is Cat's third season.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't say so. First playoff
I think
appearance.
so.
Third or fourth. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, he's a great talent to me. I think people overrate him in the sense that there are a number of really talented big men out here. I mean, it's not like he is this unicorn, I guess is the term of the day. Very talented,
Porzingis.
but I seen Joel Embiid, step back three, and he's 7'2". I believe Cat is 6'11". Um, Anthony Davis is basically an all around perimeter down low player. I mean, he's injury prone because of his frame, but we have a number of guys that are stunning players, big men, and to me, Cat is another guy that does have a lot to prove in the playoffs, and this is why we love the NBA playoffs. It's showtime.
We'll see. All right, let's move on. Warriors for Spurs. Teddy, what you think?
Um, Give me the Warriors rather easily. I don't believe this hype about KD being a beta male. I mean, he is a beta male, but I don't believe on the court that he is necessarily a beta male. I think personally, I think he's the best player in the league. You have Klay Thompson, perennial All Star, Draymond Green. So they'll be fine. The Spurs have some inner turmoil going on. They'll try to slow the game down. But Greg Popovich has shown time and time again he can't figure out the Warriors at all. So, I can see 5 games, but it should be a sweep.
Jair?
Out of respect for Pop, Warriors in 5.
Out of respect for Pop, Warriors in 5. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. Like the Spurs, God bless them. Great organization. They're not winning here. All right, it's not being the Warriors in the first round. That's not happening.
So what happens afterwards, Rick?
After this game,
No, after this series,
after
you
this
lose,
series,
you get swept by the Warriors. Essentially,
yeah,
you have Kawhi out there.
the ones that get traded.
Is that where we are now? Like, what happens after this for the San Antonio Spurs? Because
Popovich
I heard that
retires.
LaMarcus Aldridge wanted to get traded last year, so and he's
I don't
leading the
want to
team in
hear.
scoring.
I don't want to hear anything about LaMarcus Aldridge. He doesn't know ever what he wants to do. He leaves Portland. It was a great situation in Portland he had. They could have been. Imagine LaMarcus Aldridge still up there in Portland. They got a great team this year. He should never. I personally thought he should have left. I never really liked his fit down there. I mean, he's playing well, but I never liked him with the Spurs personally. And they haven't done anything since he's been there. But also, you had the Warriors, that rise. That I mean, nobody's doing anything with that one. But if I was him, I just would have never left. What happens to the Spurs next after this series? Who knows, man? Maybe they trade Kawhi for a bunch of pieces, and then Pop go 12 deep like the 2015 Hawks. I got no idea, man. They got a lot of young cats in their roster, but they don't have any star power. In this league, you need star power to win the playoffs. You can win some regular season games, but when it comes to that playoff time, you gotta get your basket. You gotta put the ball in the hole, and you need a star to do that. You need a James Harden, you need a LeBron, you need a Kevin Durant. The Spurs don't have anything even close to that. Paul Gasol, Ginobili, Parker, these cats combined are like 120. Nah, I can't get down with it, dude. I'm not. I like the Spurs a lot. I like the organization. I like their offense, but it's just not happening here. I got Gold State in the sweep. You're not beat. Kevin Durant's gonna show out. They don't even need Steph Curry for this one. Steph Curry, you go ahead and rest that ankle or whatever ailments else you may have, and you come back out there. We can handle the Spurs. Yeah, give me the Warriors of 4.
I just want to interject about the LaMarcus Aldridge. He is playing much better this year than last year. Just want to throw that out there. Secondly, there was the reports, or not reports, I think LaMarcus Aldridge himself was trying to get traded. Pop has gone on record saying he takes the blame for what happened last year, that he tried to force LaMarcus into this system that he does so well, and says, "Okay, I need to let LaMarcus do his own thing in a way." That relationship has been amended. So I just want to throw that out there. But Warriors in 5 at worst.
Yeah, that's great that they're back on terms again, I guess, but they're still going to lose.
That was for the audience, just giving context. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I didn't like his fit at all last year. I know this year he's been playing pretty well, but last year I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that Paul Gasol and LaMarcus Aldridge lineup anyway. And playing against a small ball team like the Warriors, it's just I don't know. Just like back in like the early 2000s, that had been great, but now you got to have almost like you got to have pretty much this is my dream roster right here. You got to have a floor general. The shooting guard isn't really a shooting guard to me anymore. Give me like a combo guard. Give me 2 6'8", 6'9" swingmen that can stretch the floor, and give me a rim protector. That's a formula for winning the championship. The Spurs, I mean, they're old, they're young, they got 2 traditional big men. They're not beating they'll get one game. I'll get one game to pop and pop only, and that's it.
I mean, Pop can't do anything.
He can coach.
He can coach, but what is he going to coach them to do? You got Kevin Durant out there. I mean, give effort, fine, but that's the thing about the Warriors. There's no scheme within the realm of basketball where you can say, okay, we're going to stop this. I mean, look at the what was it? The 20s, this past year's finals, where Cleveland they were so discombobulated by what the Warriors present in a matchup that they had a game plan to give up dunks and layups. You're not going to win when that's your strategy against the team.
We're going to give you points. Just don't shoot the 3.
We're going to give you dunks and layups so you don't get a 3. So, no, Pop is not going to be a factor. Like, actually a sweep. Let's get this thing swept.
I did say sweep, didn't I?
I think what's going to be a factor is the fact that there is no Steph Curry. And Kevin Durant has come out and said our whole offense revolves around Steph Curry and what he presents. So
I don't want to hear that shit. Warriors, you're fucking Kevin Durant. I don't want to hear that.
You think that was a complaint or just a statement?
It was a statement, but I don't want to hear that. You're Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
It could be a fact and not an excuse. If he was using it as an excuse, like we lost because the offense revolves around Steph, I'm with you. But if he was asked a question, what does losing Steph mean, and he answered it that way, that's the way I took it. Like I said, I don't have context really for that statement.
Okay,
but just to say that, that's going to kind of hurt the Warriors, of course. I mean, not having the two-time MVP. But just getting used to playing without him, now you have Quinn Cook that's kind of running the show for you. It's not the same.
No, it's not the same, but that just means Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson get more shots.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's not bad. It's not a bad.
Like what we talk about here. This is the Warriors. They could be without any one of those guys, and they will still sweep the Spurs. I think it's a gentleman sweep early. I want to correct myself. I'm with you, Teddy. Yeah, give me just a clean sweep. And I don't think the games will be too close either.
Yeah, man. Hopefully get some good basketball out of that series. But
good luck with that.
What's next for Kawhi, Jair?
That's a great question. I think he'll stay in San Antonio. It's just too good. I don't think. I think they'll make it work at the end of the day. It's fun to consider Kawhi Leonard on the open market or being traded, but I think Pop. Yeah, it's just he'll stay at the end of the day.
I'll tell you what's going to happen with Kawhi. Otto Porter, in the first-round pick of the Washington Wizards, will be traded for Kawhi Leonard. Hey, what could dream, though? What could dream?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Could the Wizards put together a trade for Kawhi?
No.
Could they think like this right? Hold a second.
Perhaps.
Otto, Sato, the first-round pick, and Gortat's expiring.
It would have to be Beal.
No, they wouldn't trade. No.
But they couldn't afford that.
Make the salaries work. You could drop another play in there for the Spurs.
You sound like your boy Ernie Grunfeld. That's what he said when OKC was like, "Hey, Kawhi, what's his name? James Harden for Beal?" No.
Now I know. I wanted that deal when it was time for it.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
curious how Wall and
You talking about
Harden would have
Kawhi
played with each
Leonard
other.
though?
He could have drafted Kawhi Leonard. I mean, let's be honest, but he showed Jan Vesling, who's not even in the league anymore. They're
I
going back to
mean,
Europe.
at the time, man, Jan was the Michael Jordan of Croatia.
Stop. Don't do that to me, please. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about this shit anymore.
Or was it Czechoslovakia? He was the Michael Jordan of Ukraine. Come on, man.
God,
You
that
can't
guy was
pass
so
that up.
bad. Oh, that was so bad.
You can't pass that up.
Ugh.
Eastern Europe All
Blazers
Star,
Pelicans.
boy.
Blazers Pelicans, baby. Jair, this is your squad right here in the Pelicans. You tell me what's going to happen.
So, first of all, forget the mantra of a 3-6 seed. The Trailblazers won 49 and they went 49 and 33, excuse me. The Pelicans went 48 and 34, right? We're talking about a game. So the mantra of a 3 versus 6, you can throw that out. This is a 4-5 matchup in every essence. This is an 8-9 NCAA seed. Forget the seeding for a second. So this comes down to Damian Lillard in that squad, and they have done a very good job with CJ McCollum, that crazy crowd up in Portland. Those fans are hostile. They love their team. Versus the Pelicans, no Boogie Cousins, Anthony Davis. We have talked about these young players needing to show up, improve it. Well, he has showed as much as he can without playoffs in that Boogie is gone, and he carried this team to where they are in the wild, wild west. Now, let's talk about the backcourt. We all know about Portland's backcourt. I don't need to talk about them. Everybody knows about them. Let's talk about the Pelicans backcourt because it seems like no one knows about them. Drew Holiday has been balling. He has played better this year than he has ever played in any other year. That includes Philly. Drew Holiday has been balling out of his mind.
Tell me the numbers.
I'd have to pull him up, but I can tell you what he can do.
19 points per game. Mm-hmm.
He has no holes in this game. He's not a superstar, right? He's not going to get John Wall type penetration into the lane. He's not that kind of player. But he's similar to Mike Conley in his prime, where he can shoot the three. He can initiate pick and roll. He can get to the rim. He has mid-range. He is very underrated on defense. He is a very good defensive player that will be prominent from tip off with Drew Holiday. I promise you that you're gonna see Drew locked in on the defense end of the floor. He's very good at switching. He's very good onto switching onto bigs in the low post. Not really prominent in this series. Then playoff Rondo, baby. Playoff Rondo. TNT Rondo. We all know it. Rondo shows his best. We all know last year when Chicago was up 2-0 against the Celtics, Rondo went out. That series went away. We know Rondo can ball. We talk about vets, seasoned vets. Well, the Pelicans, they got swept 2 years ago against the Warriors. But this team really is largely inexperienced. But Rondo can be that centerpiece. Rondo can bring everybody together.
I'm big on Rondo, dude. Last year, don't forget with the Bulls and the Celtics, Rondo got hurt in that series, and Rondo was tearing the Celtics up.
That's exactly what I was bringing up. Yeah.
Yeah, and if he would have played that whole series, it could have been the Bulls versus the Wizards, and the Wizards win the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a very sore point for me and Teddy as well too. But whatever. I don't know, man. This series to me is pretty much this series to me is pretty much a toss up. I like Dame Lillard a lot. I like Anthony Davis a lot more. Who is stopping Anthony Davis? I don't think anyone on the Blazers are. So the question is, Drew Holiday, you're so big on him. Can he slow down Dame Lillard?
Can he slow down? Yes. Can he stop? No. Slow down? Yes.
Okay. Tell me about the bench for the Pelicans.
Let's not.
And that's what I want to bring up too. Like who is relieving these guys and coming in providing buckets?
That's a great point. We did acquire Nurkic, former Bull, playing really well as that stretch forward, Anthony Davis. You've got Solomon Hill that has come back from injury, doing his thing as a wing player. Outside of that, you get into the bench, it's cut because when you got two max players with Boogie and Anthony Davis, something's got to give, and the bench is what had to give.
What do you think, Teddy?
All right. So as much as I would love to predict an upset in this series, I just can't do it. Do love Anthony Davis. This guy's he's a spectacular talent. He's come up against you know a tough. He's come up against tough playoff matchups in his playoff debuts and appearances. But he averages 28 points per game. Double-digit rebounds, great all-around player. But is he going to be able to make his teammates better to the point where they can beat the Portland Trailblazers? I'm not sure about that. You talk about Drew Holiday on the defensive side of the ball. I believe he's their second leading scorer with Boogie being injured. So that's a lot to ask of Drew Holiday to be a complimentary 20-point per game scorer, and then slow down Damian Lillard, who averages 26 points per game. And then you have McCollum, then you have Evan Turner as well, putting pressure on perimeter players. Portland also has the advantage, in my opinion, down low, even though New Orleans has the best player all around. And so I just think their team is just too deep and too talented for New Orleans, especially in a series format. So give me Portland in 6 games. But I think we'll see Anthony Davis perform as the best player. And people will just say, he didn't have any help. I don't think he'll be a choke artist because he's just too good for that. But give me Portland in 6.
If DeMarcus Cousins was playing this series, would that change your mind?
Hell yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah,
because Damian Lillard, at the same time, Damian Lillard shoots like, I want to say 43%. Who's getting those rebounds? Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins combined does what LeBron does on a game-by-game basis, controlling the pace, controlling the game. You have to go through both of those guys offensively and defensively to have a chance to beat that team. Then you have Rondo, who is also a ball control type player, quarterbacking the entire game, controlling the pace. So I would have taken New Orleans in that situation. And who knows, New Orleans might have been a 3rd or 4th seed if he had stayed healthy. But yeah, totally different series now, and it's in Portland's favor.
Jair, what do you think? Who you got winning the series?
So I wanna harp on a few things he said there. You talked about Drew and his energy. Let's not forget, Rondo is a primary ball handler, so a lot of the fatigue issues get a little weight out there. It's not like he is constantly carrying the ball. Secondly, you brought up the bench, and I forgot about this. Ian Clark, the former Warriors guard, and we talk about seasoned veterans, is low-key really important in this series on the road at Portland in a tough environment. He's seasoned. He's been there. He's not Steph, of course, but he does his thing. He plays his high-quality minutes. It's low-key. If Anthony Davis is as good as I think he is, then the Pelicans win this in 6. Pelicans in 6.
Wow. What are they going to do defensively?
What do you mean? What are they going to do in terms of what?
I mean, they're not a very good defensive team, and if you play a Portland Trailblazers team who is very offensive minded, are you going to be able to outscore them? That was my whole point with Drew Holiday. If it's going to be a shootout, you have 2 20-plus point per game scorers on one team. You have Jokic, I believe. Is Jokic or Nurkic that they have?
No, it's Nurkic. Jokic is with Denver. Yeah, Nurkic.
Do you have Nurkic down low who will make it tough on any of the post players if Anthony Davis gets down low? He's a big guy.
Make it tough. LeBron just in that man's whole career.
His ghost is still playing, though, and his ghost still weighs 208 pounds. And that's a lot to put on Anthony Davis. He has to bang with guys, get past smaller guys. Like, it's a lot. Not saying he can't handle it, but we're talking about a series, not a game-by-game basis.
And so the Pelicans are 13th in defensive rating. It's not great, but it's not awful either. It's average. So if you're talking about a full court gunning, then the Trailblazers win. I don't think they'll play that style of basketball though. I think it'll slow down.
Don't they allow sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Don't they allow I think they're at the bottom of the league in points allowed. I guess that's what I had read earlier. And Portland does have pretty good defense. So Portland has a really good offense. So if you're not able to slow them down, even with Damian Lillard shooting 43%, which kind of, plays into New Orleans' style of defense, he's still getting 26 points on 43% shooting. So we're going to need to bottle that up if we have any chance we're going to need to pretty much control the game. If I'm New Orleans, we're going to have to control the pace and play at a much slower pace than what Portland wants to do.
It's gonna be interesting, but I'm gonna take I'm just gonna interject real quick. I'm gonna take the Blazers in 6. I don't see who's providing so much scoring outside of Anthony Davis for the Pelicans. Jair, actually, tell me about your boy Moore, because he played well pretty much towards back half of the season.
Yeah, he's a quality guard. Just does his job really. Does it well. He's a very efficient role player. He's what you need on a roster. You're not gonna look for him. Look at that spectacular play, but he'll hit the open three. He'll make the right decision. He'll make the pass. He's got some. He's got enough to where he can create his own shot. Doesn't really rely on it, but he can get to the bucket. Need be. You know what I'm saying? Shot clock winding down. He's just a quality player. He's somebody you want on your roster for the right price.
Jair, as a Pelicans fan, do the Pelicans have enough to keep Portland under 100 points? Three out of the 7 games, or whatever amount of games you think. For 3 games, can they keep them under 100?
I think you're looking because the Pelicans like to play fast too. So I think under 100 isn't. Mm-hmm. The answer is no, but I think the barometer should be more like 107 and under, more so than the standard 100 and under. To answer your question.
Okay, so if they keep them under 107 points for 3 games, I mean, I know you have New Orleans winning, but do you see them winning doing that? Like, is that the game plan? Keep Portland under a certain amount of points, or can we just outshoot them? I'm trying to get a grasp of New Orleans' style of play.
New Orleans likes to play fast, and then we slowed it down a bit when Boogie got here, and now it's kind of sped up a bit with Boogie getting out. However, it's fast, but it's not Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors fast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're speeding, but they're not going 100 on the highway. Is the best way to put it. So they're not trying to just go with the first look. They want it to be a quality look. It's kind of hard to quantify exactly your question, but they do they're not afraid to get in a shootout, but they would rather it a little toned down, just a little. They don't need it extra spicy, just spicy.
Got it.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's move on. Thunder versus Jazz. Teddy, what you got?
Woo! Okay, let's get into this. So much with this team. I have the Thunder winning. I just think Westbrook has been here enough. And again, he's the alpha on the floor. He'll impose his will, all of that stuff. I think they have good pieces at every position. A lengthy team. Utah, to me, kind of lacks athleticism. They can stick with you. They kind of remind me of the Spurs, where the Spurs kind of go at cruising speed. They don't go too fast or too slow, and they're consistent. And if you kind of fall off your game, they'll take that dub. You're going to have to play extraordinarily well and limit mistakes to beat them. I think the Thunder can pull that off, even though they are mistake prone. I just think, the experience from those guys, and just the fact that how embarrassing would it be to get knocked out in the first round? I just think OKC has a lot more to play for. Utah may be kind of patting themselves on the back for finally getting into the playoffs. So give me the Thunder. Give me the Thunder in 7.
Well, Utah was in the playoffs last year as well.
They beat the Clippers in the first round. That Joe Johnson went off. Yeah, if you remember that.
My apologies. I still see them.
Joe Johnson hit that. He hit that big shot. I think game 1? Game 1.
Yep.
Yeah. The Jazz, man, I wish that Gordon Hayward really would have resigned with them. I think they had something building up there, but he left to go play with his old coach, and that turned out unfortunately for him. How embarrassing would it be for the Thunder to lose a series? You got Paul George, you got Russell Westbrook, another triple double average, and you also have the ghost of Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, man. Carmelo, he's been like a great piece for them, like a lot of people envision. He's to me, he's more of a name at this point. But you got Paul George and Russell Westbrook there, and you still got my man Steve Adams. You got some great players on that OKC team, and that crowd. Jair, we could talk about this one. We've been to a couple of Thunder games. That crowd is ridiculous. Like it's like a college atmosphere, probably the best in basketball. Russell Westbrook isn't going to let this team lose in the first round to Donovan Mitchell, the rookie in the Jazz. Gobert, Adams going to be an interesting matchup, but I don't see the Jazz beating the Thunder right here at all. Paul George, I need this man to step up completely in the playoffs. I need to see it happen. He struggled every time he went against LeBron, but I mean that's going to happen. But he must be this elite player. You know, you can't be, you just can't get the record against LeBron for him has been ridiculous. But fortunately for him, he's in the West now. But now it's no excuses. I need to see Paul George step up. I need to see Paul George be Paul George. I need him to go out there. I need to see 25 points and like 8 rebounds. I need to see some solid numbers and some solid defense from him on his court. The Jazz, they're a tough team, man. They're tough. They're gritty. They're not here to play any games. They're going to try to beat you up. And I think OKC could step up to the challenge. I got the Thunder in 6.
I love Quinn Snyder, what he's done with the Jazz. Cruising speed was a perfect description, man. That was, once again, pen game on point. The Jazz, they just cruise right along. They don't play too fast. They don't play too slow. Everything is done with purpose. They take their time. Having said that, their star power is lacking. And OKC has all the star power. I have massive questions about OKC moving forward. Massive questions, including Carmelo. I could have a podcast episode just talking about how I think Carmelo is so overrated. But
career-wise or
career-wise? Career-wise.
Ooh.
We'll save that. Paul George needs to step up. Just, listen, we can cut this 1,000 different ways. He just needs to step up, plain and simple. And Russ, his decision making in late games, I think everyone's well aware of. That's a whole nother podcast episode, and I'm sure it'll come up inevitably somewhere throughout this playoffs. But it's just too much here. It's just too much. You brought up the crowd. I love to criticize OKC, that city in general, but that crowd is nuts. Absolute. I've been to plenty of games, football and basketball, even baseball. And that crowd is nuts. I have nothing but positive things to say about that. OKC fans there. OKC in 5.
Wow.
Okay.
What did I say? Did I say 7?
I think so.
I think he said 6. Said 7? Maybe he said 7. I said 6. I said 6.
I think it's going to be I don't like. We've all said it. We've all talked about the talent on OKC, but we haven't seen that talent mesh. Jair even talked about how overrated Carmelo is. I don't think Carmelo is a very good player right at this point. And then you have Russell Westbrook, and like Jair, another point he made, his decision making. It's his decision making throughout the course of the game. I mean, when you play a regular season for stats with stats in mind, and let's not pretend like those. I mean, great accomplishment, but if you're approaching the game in the sense that you want to get certain stats and you're playing in that way instead of playing in a mindset of trying to win and being strategic and being the quarterback of the team, when it comes playoff time, you're not going to be able to flip that switch. He doesn't have a very high basketball IQ, if any at all. He's a superior athlete, and the media loves that about him. He's a media darling. So a lot of people have a misconception about Russell Westbrook as a point guard or even a basketball player. I don't think he's necessarily the one that's going to lead a team to any type of championship or to overcome any type of adversity. He'll just play with what the talent he's given, and they'll pretty much meet expectations. But I don't see, I don't see them like proving anybody wrong with all the issues people talk about with OKC. I don't see Paul George being a guy to get out his funk in this series, and Melo is who Melo is. So I see a 7-game series, but I still think OKC will pull it out.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's go back to the East. Eastern Conference Finals. Who y'all got?
Oh, that's a big jump to the straight to the conference finals.
We already did the first round. Let's go straight to the conference finals. Who wins? Who gets there?
Man, you hit me with that one. Dang. I'll sit back. I'll let y'all go into that one.
I mean, I need to see the bracket, but I'll just say the best teams. I don't know if this is going to happen. I think the Wizards actually do have a shot to get there. But I would rank.
You think
I would
they
say,
would? So, let me interrupt you real quick. So this is what the Wizards had to beat. They got to beat the Raptors, and then the very next round they had to beat the winner of the Cavs and the Pacers.
yeah, there are no teams in the East that scare me. I know people love to say LeBron, LeBron, LeBron. But people are saying LeBron can win the East with no team, basically. I mean, the East is open. The Cavs are beatable. The Wizards have the talent to beat the Cavs. I also think the Celtics had the talent to beat the Cavs. Um, it's really LeBron. It's the LeBron factor. It's that we have not seen him. We have not seen him in the NBA Finals. So he's kind of
Well,
working off that. He's had a go
it's
ahead.
that 1 year against the Celtics that he lost. We took the jersey off after
I
the
mean,
game.
in recent history, I think he's been to the finals six straight. How many straight
Oh,
times?
I think it's seven.
I
I
think
think it's seven straight
yeah,
times.
something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what we're looking at. So that's what makes it hard to not put LeBron at least in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? But if you look at his team hasn't proven that they're this, well put together group of guys who have figured it out and will make a deep playoff run. So I think the Wizards, the Cavs, and the Celtics have a real shot. I don't really have faith in Philly except for their talent. So however that shakes out, I see I guess two of those four teams. I know that's kind of is half the playoff teams, but I see those teams as the top teams. I don't see Toronto as one of the top teams.
I'll make it a little bit easier for everybody here.
Yeah,
I got the Heat. I got the Heat beating the Sixers. I already said that. And then I got the Heat beating the Celtics.
possible, very possible.
I had the Cavs beating the Pacers. Then I had the Cavs beating the Raptors. So you gave me the Heat and the Cavs, the 6 and the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals.
And I can see LeBron getting to the finals off of that. It's open.
The East
What
is
about
wide.
you,
I've never
Jay?
seen the East this wide open before. You can make an argument for almost every team on here. Maybe
It's
except for the
always been
Bucks.
wide open. It's just that there's been, one singular super team in the East for the last how many years, but it's always been open. Atlanta is the number one overall seed in the East one year and doesn't make the playoffs the next year. Toronto, number one seed one year, or number two seed one year, Eastern Conference Finals, and then they get swept in the first round the next year. It's always been open. It's been a crap. Somebody's gotta make the playoffs in the East.
This is true. Yeah, I'm going Heat Cavs. And I got Cavs winning that one in 7 games.
Okay.
I think the Heat are that tough, and I think they match up very well with the Cavs. But we'll wait on that one right there. Let's let the games play out before I go into that one. This is my speculation. Jaya, what do you think?
We talked about when I started with the Pelicans Portland, I said throw out the seeding because there was 1 game difference. And I think at the Eastern Conference, we look at sorry, we got storms, that's lightning. The seeding isn't indicative of what you think a quality team should be. When I look at Toronto, I don't see number 1 seed. The eye test wise, the eye
Yep.
test. That's it. I don't fear them at all. They remind me of a 6 seed really when I see them play, just generally. I'm not a LeBron fan, so I hate going to this, but LeBron is just too good. It's just that simple. I don't see anybody knocking him off. I think the Cavs have a ton of weaknesses, especially transition defense, especially that team still trying to mesh their coaching with Tyronn Lue or Coach LeBron if you want. But I think LeBron is just too good that no one is going to stop him. The Wizards was really interesting. I didn't know they played the Cavs in the second round. They have the pure talent. They have some experience. They passed the check marks. But we don't know what Wizards are going to show up. And I'm excited to see it.
5:30 today. We'll find out.
But let me just make this one point about LeBron. There's an X factor with LeBron that I have not seen. I wasn't able to witness Jordan. I believe that this occurred with Jordan as well, though. But I have not seen this in real life, that people give reverence to LeBron on the court. I think the Celtics injuries have kind of put the Cavs into the finals, because I feel like that's the only team that wouldn't have this reverence for him, mainly because they have a Kyrie Irving, a Brad Stevenson. To case in point, they make this trade for Kyrie Irving and you send 2 of Boston's, key pieces over to Cleveland, and that locker room is just destroyed. Why do you think that is? It's because they were enemies for the last 2 or 3 years. Jay Crowder, LeBron, Isaiah Thomas, and LeBron, that whole locker room. There was real animosity there. this now those guys are injured. You have a bunch of young guys who have not experienced those battles, that whole rivalry, and so they're not the same team. The Wizards, talent-wise, yes, but they don't pass that, I guess, reverence box, I would say, because they do give LeBron a lot of respect. LeBron has hit hella game winners on the Wizards. And, those players, even if they weren't there for that, they know it. They've been hit with some game winners or game tying or an overtime shots. And so that factor plays in the mix. And to me, that would be the team to beat the Cavs would be the Wizards. But, you still have that reverence X factor there that you just never know how that's going to play out, usually in LeBron's favor, to his credit.
With the Wizards, I just have one question. Who on the Wizards roster is guarding LeBron James?
That's the thing. I don't feel like LeBron is just this unguardable juggernaut. When I have watched him play this year, I will say people are giving him 3-point shots, but he's knocking them down. I mean, some of his highlights, like against the Lakers, where he has that fake pass. Like, what kind of defense is that to begin with? I don't know if you remember, he faked it out to the perimeter and then threw it down low. Yeah, it's like silly shit. So how are we approaching LeBron? Are we approaching him as a competitor, or are we approaching him as, a GOAT or this legend or this person I looked up to growing up and now I'm playing against him? Like, are you trying to get it or what? Are you just happy to be there? LeBron's defense has slacked some. It's also about attacking him when you have the ball on offense, being aggressive, playing like, you have a shot to win. And I don't see that a lot. Not to take away from LeBron, but that factor is there. So if I saw it in the Celtics, they didn't give a damn who they were playing the whole season. But there are certain teams like the Wizards who do. Toronto, we already know that Cleveland has their heart. And then Philly, I mean, LeBron and Ben Simmons are like, mentor and mentee. So there's a level of respect there that maybe Embiid doesn't give a damn about, but there's a factor in there as well that I can't say for sure Philly will come out ready to take the crown. So I think LeBron and the Cavs have a huge advantage in that regard.
So who's your Eastern Conference Finals?
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I have the Cavs, and if Embiid is healthy, game 2 onward, I have Philly. I think the talent's too good. It goes against everything. My rules of basketball. I hate young teams, inexperienced teams. Come playoff time.
Playoffs, yeah.
But I think, but I think their talent is just too big of a gap from the teams they're playing. Cavs, Philly.
That's very possible too. I
very
think that's
possible.
Very possible.
It's all on Embiid. Where's Embiid at? It's all on Embiid.
That'll be an interesting series because I think Embiid makes Philly a better team than Cleveland. Now, how often does it happen where you have a young group? I'm talking about their leaders are young. I think their whole team is young. The most veteran players, who? JJ Redick? He brought JJ Redick in to provide veteran leadership on that team. For them to just make their first playoff appearance and make a run to the finals. Yeah, okay. No, I mean, he was a great player at Duke. That was so long ago and so irrelevant to his NBA career. But no, 100%. Like, for those guys to make it to the finals in their first playoff run, like, do you see them as that transcendent? I mean, that's historical, right? Do you view them as that transcendent of a group, of a combo that we'll be talking about them in the terms of Kobe, Shaq, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan? Because that's what that means. You get to the finals this year as Philly. I know you just said Eastern Conference Finals, but I think they're a better team than Cleveland. Do we see them as that type of duo?
I do. Yes,
they got to prove it on the court. This right now, certainly. Today is where you prove it. We can say all day what it is. I need to see it.
I test right now, just from what you have seen.
What I've seen, I test right now.
Yeah.
I would say yes. They have a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Embiid healthy, like I said. I need Embiid healthy. If Embiid's not healthy, they ain't going.
That's not the question.
What's the question?
Do you see them with the potential of being that in the talks of best duos of all time? That type of, you put them in that type of category.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
So then they do have a chance. That's how
But they
legends
have
are
a chance
born.
this year.
I
Kobe,
mean,
Kobe and Shaq.
yeah,
When Kobe and Shaq got together, they had some season in the league. Kobe was 96. Shaq was drafted 92. That was a 5 and 8 year player
yeah,
at
but
that
Kobe
point when they
wasn't
got to when
Kobe.
they won the first final.
It wasn't Kobe and Shaq until 2000, like 99, 2000, maybe 2000. It wasn't Kobe and Shaq, really. It was Shaq and guys they put around Shaq and a young rookie second year player who made the All Star team out of nowhere. But it wasn't really Kobe and Shaq until 2000. So right now it's Embiid and Simmons.
Simmons first year, Embiid second year. I
Yeah.
mean, these guys are still young, so
I,
I mean,
well,
whatever happens, it doesn't tarnish anything with them. They had a great regular
No,
season,
no, no, no. Yeah.
but
no.
their growth over the years, yeah, they can get to that level. They're two incredible talents. Dr. J said it best. Ben Simmons, once in a generation talent. I believe it. Joel
Um,
Embiid,
But
if he can stay healthy, he'd be the best big man in the league.
yeah. If he isn't already.
Yeah, exactly. If he's in already, but the current states of everything as of right now, that man is hurt. Ben Simmons doesn't have a jumper, and they're playing against a very good Heat squad.
Who's going to the
8 p.m. tonight.
Eastern Conference Finals.
I already said Heat Cavs. That's what I got.
Yeah.
I'm on record,
Philly
baby.
Cavs. I'm on record. Philly Cavs. Oh, by the way, just looking forward. Wouldn't that be intriguing? A Ben Simmons guarding LeBron over the course of a 7-game series.
A passing of the torch of sorts.
Well, I'm not even talking about that, but just from an X and O standpoint, that LeBron has always had the win when it comes to athletics. He instantly wins, but Ben Simmons can quietly match up. It's just something.
That'd be very interesting. That'd be very interesting because Cleveland doesn't have a lot of guys. Well, they have Jordan Clarkson and Hood that can get their buckets, but I mean they're like just like the Sixers. They haven't seen any playoff experience really. Playoffs should change you. Playoffs will expose you.
Yeah.
You remember Bogdanovich last year with the Wizards? That motherfucker got exposed in the playoffs.
No. No.
Let's see what he does today with the
believe
Pacers.
it.
Or tomorrow with the Pacers. All right, so
with the
Western Conference
Celtics.
Finals.
I mean,
Yeah, obvious.
I mean, yeah.
I think it's very
Pelicans,
easy.
Houston. Oh, I
Yeah, it's
mean,
easy.
Warriors, Rockets. That's the finals. That's the finals matchup.
Yeah, so that's easy right there. I think everybody's gonna pick that one. Now, who wins? And say Steph Curry is
Warriors.
back and he's healthy.
Yeah.
Steph should be back by the second round, supposedly. So, I mean, he should have some time, a season to be ready for those conference finals. I have the Warriors winning.
Hopefully. Yeah. I don't think I think there's a lot of hype behind Houston. Deservedly so, but for people to talk about how they're on the same level as the Warriors is silly. They haven't proven that at all. At all, not even close. The Warriors
They
are
beat him a
champions.
couple times this year.
I don't care.
Come on,
Rockets
man.
did.
Like
I don't care.
regular season.
Hey, just throwing it out there.
Come on,
The
man.
Warriors.
Right.
Look at what we're watching here. We're watching one player who's been to 7 straight finals, but we're losing the fact that the Warriors have been to 4 straight finals? 3 or 4?
2015.
They won 2 out of 3.
Year, 16 and 17. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they live in the finals, man. Like they live for the playoffs. They even like have players coaching in the middle of the season. The regular season, they figured it out. The regular season is a joke. This is the real season. They're going to turn it up. Again, to my point earlier, Houston, Chris Paul, James Harden, great individual talents. They like to play with their food. They can show you all the handles and all the little tricks in the world, all the jelly fam, all of that, right? But what's going to happen when we're playing in the Western Conference Finals versus a juggernaut like the Warriors, and you have to bring it? I don't see Houston even really coming close to what the Warriors bring.
How many games do the Warriors win in?
6, because Houston is still a good team. Don't take that away from them. The Warriors are not just gonna blow through them. Houston is a very good team, but I think it's going to be a lengthy series, 6 games. But I don't see. I think Golden State will be in control the entire series.
I would say also the Warriors in 6. I'm not going against the Warriors. They're a better. Even though the Rockets did take some games for the regular season, but you're right. The regular season is a joke for teams like them. For teams like the 76ers and the Raptors, they take the regular season very seriously because they don't have too much success afterwards, where they're young. So it's just different basketball. The Warriors, they're cool winning 58 games. That's whatever. They could have won 50. They could have won 45, or just enough to get in the playoffs. They don't give a damn because right now is when the games actually start. Everybody's undefeated. And one thing about the Warriors, when it comes to playoff time, you're absolutely right. They get to the finals every year. They are pretty much LeBron James team of the West. They just get to the finals, and it's going to keep happening as long as that squad's together. Durant, not Westbrook, Thompson, Curry, Draymond Green. They got a great bench too. Yeah, Iguodala coming off. I want to throw
JaVale
Nick Young
McGee,
name
Nick
out there. I don't
Young.
want to do
Where'd
that
they
one. I
get
ain't going
them
too
from?
far. What's
Where they
that?
get those? JaVale McGee, Nick Young. Where'd they get them from?
All
Who
these
they play
Wizards
for?
rejects they put on the squad.
Hey, and did
Andre
something
Black
with them. Now they have a career. They have careers specializing on NBA teams, on championship teams. Just to tell you a little
playing a
something
role.
about organization differences in organizations.
Exactly. But I think with the Wizards, those guys were asked to do too much. Like Nick Young should never been starting for the Wizards. JaVale McGee should never been starting. They were asked to do too much. They asked to play 30, 35 minutes a game as starters.
Mm-hmm.
With the Warriors, they're playing a reserve role. Nick Young come in, you got the green light. You got 15, 20 minutes a game. JaVale McGee, protect the rim. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're asked to do different things. And you're absolutely right, though, that the talent when they were in Washington, they should have been asked to do those same things too. But the talent pool was so thin in DC at the time that they had no choice but to play those guys heavy minutes. And they got exposed. You don't want to see JaVale McGee play 30 minutes. You don't want to see Nick Young play 30 minutes out there. You want them to play their role and do what they do best. Nick Young scored a basket, shoot from outside, plays a perimeter defense. JaVale McGee, rebound, run the court, get the alley hoop, clean up on the boards.
The only time you want to see JaVale McGee and Nick Young play 30 minutes is during a Shaqtin' a Fool marathon. That's it.
Damn, that is so true. That's not disrespectful. That's just true. Okay. All right. NBA Finals. Who's your winner?
Warriors. I think the Warriors. Warriors over the Cavs.
The winner of the Western Conference Finals will win the championship. Warriors.
The Western Conference Finals is the NBA championship to me.
It's a tradition. Yeah. Yeah. I think this could be a sweep for the Warriors in the finals.
Even if it's the Rockets that get to beat the Warriors, but they do, they're going to beat whoever's in the Eastern Conference.
I agree.
The Cavs and whoever, if it isn't the Cavs, who would say the Heat, the Sixers,
Philly.
Yeah, they're not. No, not at all. Not at all. It'll be a sweep, and it's not going to be close. Remember, I mean, the right team means nothing. I know it means nothing. It's true, but remember that game the Rockets played against the Cavs, where they beat them by almost 40 points, even though the team was a little bit different back then.
Yeah, it's a Saturday
I mean,
night game, right?
it's still in the psyche. I mean, still there.
Chance. Yeah, they have no real chance. I mean, you know how they say barring injury, et cetera, et cetera. Even if one of those guards gets injured, they're still beating Cleveland. Still.
Yeah, I don't see how ADC for the East will win this year. I don't see what's going to happen. No. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so let's talk about something totally different then. We got the Warriors winning it. I think that was an interesting way to get to this conclusion. But, I mean, was there really any other choice who's going to win this year? And the Warriors didn't. The Warriors, they're going to win again. They'll be back to back, 3 and 4 years.
Houston, yeah, I know it's down on Houston, but Houston has a lot to prove. Like they're my team to watch in these playoffs. I'm a James Harden fan. I would love to see them go over the hump. I would love to see James Harden prove that he is one of these elite guys that they should talk about. But like you said, this is what the playoffs is about. It's time to show. So let's see what the Houston Rockets have. But other than that, it's a foregone conclusion. It's become a June tradition to see the Warriors, Cavs, and Warriors seem like they're going to take it if that's the case.
Okay. All right, let's get to a couple quick hits, then we end off on one last topic, switch it up completely. Off season, LeBron James, what happens?
He stays in Cleveland.
Stays in Cleveland. You better stay in Cleveland.
Yeah, I agree. He's just staying in Cleveland, even though he's going to have. I don't know who's going to go there with him to help him out, but they got that top pick. They got that rookie coming in.
Maybe. They could still
Maybe
trade that. I could see them
they
trading
could
that.
trade it.
I could see Carmelo coming to Cleveland.
That would be
Um,
horrific.
I mean, it depends on situation. I really don't think Carmelo is a good fit in OKC because I don't think Westbrook is the leader for most guys, but definitely not a Carmelo. I think if he goes to Cleveland, it's a better fit for him. One of those guys
He
definitely
was
wants
coming
to
off the
go to
bench.
Houston. Melo,
Yeah,
yeah. Imagine Melo like with LeBron. I mean, catch and shoot all day. I mean, he'll have open threes. We don't need to see the 5 attempt jab step that he does when somebody's on him. He'll get a free open 3-point shot, and I think he'll be cool with that.
I think Melo's washed.
Yeah,
Personally, I think at this point he's a seventh man off the bench that could play a stretch four role, kind of like Paul Pierce with the Wizards. That,
exactly.
that's that's what he can do right now. He's not taking over games or anything like that. Okay, the Lakers are free agency. What's their plans? What do you think they're going to do? My boy, shout out to my boy AJ, just said LeBron PG going to the Lakers.
LeBron and Paul George going to the Lakers.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
what
possibility. They got the
that's what
cap
the rumors
space.
are. I don't think it'll be smart for the Lakers, but that's what the rumors are.
You would think it'd be smart for the Lakers to acquire one of the top name in basketball and another starter player with him, with Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Kyle Kuzma.
You made that sound so much better than what they actually are when you like listed them. Like that sounds nice, but I mean,
And that is reality. I'm just saying the names.
I know, but the way you
Yeah.
said it makes it like you throwing 20s when you really throwing like singles. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You didn't. It sounds nice.
Yeah, I know,
It was a
right?
nice sales
Brandon
pitch, but
Ingram, nah.
who I'm high on for the record. Kuzma
Hey,
George thing.
don't sleep on Brandon Ingram, man. That guy's gonna be
Oh
good.
no. I'm high on Ingram.
And
Uh,
Kuzma.
I think Paul. Here's my prediction. I think OKC will win this series. I think OKC will. I think they play the Rockets next series, right? I think they're gonna have a game in hand that they should win. That game 5, whatever. That if they win it, the series flips, and it's gonna go awful in the fourth quarter, as it seems to always do with Russ in that crunch time. Or Melo's gonna jack out some shots, or Paul George is gonna
If
jack
the
out some
if the
shots.
Thunder win, they'll play against the Warriors in the second round. No, they'll play against the Rockets. Yeah, the Rockets second round. Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
so I think like there's gonna be a moment in that series where the Thunder can take control of it and they're gonna throw it away, and because of that, I think it's gonna end on a super sour note. That entire relationship with them three, and I could see Paul George leaving for LA. I think LeBron still stays though in Cleveland.
This whole LA thing, right? I thought, like, I had heard, I could be wrong. Paul George actually grew up a Clippers fan, and he's like more of a Clippers hometown guy. And I feel like the Clippers had made moves to pick up Paul George, but I guess that's neither here nor there. You had asked why I think it's a bad idea, to get Paul George and LeBron. So, full disclosure, when LeBron goes to a team, it becomes LeBron's team. LeBron has to have control of on court and off court. And then teams have to play the LeBron system. That's why he had issues down in Miami to begin his career down there. So, are you going to stunt the growth again of all those young players so that they just play the LeBron system where LeBron just has the ball and makes decisions for everybody? That would be a huge mistake. They're not getting out the West. So what are you mortgaging your future for? The Lakers and most of these teams in the West is so overrated, I believe. But most of these teams in the West that aren't making the playoffs is because they're trying to hold it down until the Warriors break up or something happens where they can become the powers in that conference 2-3 years from now. That's what the Lakers should be about. They have enough showtime with Lonzo and all that circus going on to maintain, but it's about 2-3 years from now when the Warriors are no longer the Warriors.
I would if I'm the Lakers, I'm gonna wait until next free agency when I can get Klay Thompson. I think Klay Thompson, Lonzo Ball would be a great fit.
That's a great fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is, why would Clay leave with everything that we've heard so far? Is he is more than content.
Drugs,
He is
drinking drugs.
Klay is
That's,
behind the scenes. If you look at the rumors, CJ McCollum said that Klay's leaving and after his contract's up.
oh, really?
Klay, this we said, look it up. Klay is said on record, that when they asked him about shots when Kevin Durant was there, he said, "Well, I ain't worried about that. I'm gonna get my shots."
I mean, yeah.
Eventually,
He
guys want
has
to
gotten
have their own
shots.
team. Guys want to have their
But
own team. This is how the NBA goes. Kyrie Irving. Guys just want to have their own squad. They don't want to play
Really,
underneath somebody.
certain guys.
Yeah, I think Clay's one of them. I think Clay can go to the Lakers in 2019. I don't think he's gonna be a Warrior forever. I think he wants to have his own shot. He wants to have his
Clay,
own squad.
I
Clay's a
He
disagree.
doesn't want to
guard,
be a
though.
splash brother. He wants to be the man.
I respectfully disagree.
Me too. Slightly less respect, but I disagree.
I mean,
as well.
Kyrie Irving left the Cavs. I mean, the NBA's crazy.
But
We've seen it
Kyrie
before.
wants the limelight. Clay does.
And Kyrie's a
wants
point
the-
guard.
Kyrie's a ball handler, point guard. Clay doesn't need the ball. Clay doesn't want to dribble. Clay doesn't like the bright lights and the interviews and all that other stuff. He just wants to show up, ball, leave, and do his own thing, whatever he's doing.
So you're saying that Clay may not want more shots? Clay might win his own team?
First
That's
of
how
all,
the
Clay
NBA
had-
usually goes with these
Well, first of all,
stars.
Clay had more shots last year than the year before with Kevin Durant. You can look that up. That's a fact. So he's still getting his shots.
Woo,
Wasn't
good.
Durant hurt last
Okay.
year?
That was a great stat.
Was he?
Durant was
Durant?
hurt last year, wasn't he?
Not
He got hurt in that
majority.
Wizards game. He was out
But
for
it's-
like a lot of
it's
the
per
back
game.
half of the season.
We're talking
Like,
we're
no,
talking
it
about
was
shot
like 3
attempts
weeks.
per game
Yeah.
or shot attempts for the
think
shot
so.
attempts per game. Yeah, I mean Clay's a classic like shooting guard. He's an old school
Yeah.
shooting guard just with crazy range. I think he gets enough attention. He gets to the All-Star game every year. He has enough bad bitches in
He's
his
already in the
phone,
Bay.
his DMs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's already, I mean, he'd be in LA. I mean, he's still down there.
Saying
I don't
that's
think
already San
there's
Francisco.
anything more you could ask for except for money, possibly. But KD's forking that over. So, I mean, I don't see him leaving. I don't really see any of them leaving. I would see Kevin Durant kind of leaving before any of them.
So this is what I'm reading off. This is an article from Slam magazine. They said
Mhm.
the Lakers are become more realistic about the chances of getting free agents in 2018, and they're starting to look at the 2019 class. Guys like Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, and Klay Thompson.
That's who I see going to the Lakers more than anybody. And I think that would be a great fit, Kawhi Leonard. I think that's somebody.
Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, 2019 with Lonzo Ball, Kuzma, Brandon Ingram.
I'm looking at them rather than a LeBron. I mean, to me, that's more viable. But I don't think you need all those people to jump in there. Like I said, if I'm them, I'm serious about building around Lonzo Ball. I'm looking at young talent that's coming up, not a 28, 29-year-old.
I agree. I agree.
Lonzo's
I don't want
19.
to see LeBron. Yeah, I don't want to see LeBron on the Lakers. That's just he's just saying Cleveland. I don't want to see that. That'd be a bad move all around. Probably a good move for LeBron in his career, being in LA. Him want to be an owner one day. All this other shit. But for the team, it wouldn't be good. Definitely not good for Lonzo.
It's not good for LeBron's legacy. LeBron wants to. I think he's figured that he's not going to catch Jordan in Jordan's way, but he can catch Jordan with statistics, leading. He's probably going to be the all-time leading scorer, maybe, right?
Right.
Finals appearances, all those type of accomplishments. So I don't see him leaving the East or Cleveland. Well, at least not the
And
East.
also,
I don't see him leaving the East.
And he's never lost in the first round, unlike Jordan, who's lost 3 times.
Well, I mean, Jordan's never lost in the finals, so.
Yeah, but he's also not made it to the finals in a lot of his appearances either. I know how you feel about LeBron. I just got to bring that point up.
What would you rather have? I mean, okay. I mean, I guess it's
would you rather lose in the first round, lose in the finals? Is that what you're saying?
Would I rather lose in the first round than lose in the finals?
Yeah.
Am I getting to the finals? I'd rather have Jordan's career than LeBron's career. I'll put it that way.
That's all that
Just
matters.
making it. Yeah, just making it is. What does that account for? I didn't even remember that Utah made the playoffs last year, man. So for what that's worth. And they won a series? I didn't even remember that.
That's disrespectful.
That's bad right there.
Just
All right.
saying, like,
y'all familiar with the NBA draft?
who's coming out?
Prospects popping out?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Who you think's gonna be number 1?
Should be or will be. It depends on which team gets the number 1 overall pick. But I think we have 3 prospects. Ayton, the boy out of Duke, Bagley, the third, and Michael Porter Jr. Out of Missouri. He didn't really get to play this year because he was injured. But if you just kind of YouTube him, probably the best player coming out, I would compare him to a shooting Blake Griffin, maybe. But he has a jumper. He has, I mean, I'm talking about, when you see certain guys shoot, dribble, and do certain basketball things, you're like, hey, this guy has been putting in work in the gym. He knows his fundamentals. He's a great prospect. So it depends on what the team need is, but I see those as the top three. Those guys as top three.
I told you we talked. I got to see Aiden play Arizona versus Arizona State game. I think that he's a great prospect. I think sometimes he lacks aggressiveness, and I'm curious about how that's going to transcend to the next level. He has the physical tools. He has the talents. He can put the ball in the hoop. He can rebound, play defense, all that. Everything from a traditional big man today. I'm just curious about his lack of well, not so much lack, but how much his drive is to take over games and make his presence known. That part right there kind of scares me. But he's young, so I mean that comes with time. I guess we'll see.
It's definitely been a knock on him from scouts.
Yeah, because that Arizona State game, he was easily the tallest player out there, most physically dominant, and he kind of disappeared in a lot of the. I mean, Arizona still won the game, but he kind of disappeared in a lot of the moments, at least what I watched. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, man. What do you think, Jair?
I will stick to my area of expertise, and the draft is not one of them in this year anyway. So I will backtrack out of this.
That's rare.
It's a good draft, man.
Rare in sports talk. That's rare somebody would say that. I'll stick to my area of expertise, or I don't know. That's honest.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, let's wrap it up with this right here. Des Bryant, what are your thoughts?
All right, show's over.
I had a couple of
Langston hit me up this morning. I just saw a missed call from him. I'm like, man, no.
Yeah.
Not Langston's our friend, is a big Cowboys fan. One of these Cowboys fans that swears that they're not delusional. I don't know if that's actually a real thing, but yeah, man. I'm gonna hit him up, but not shocking. I feel like Skip Bayless, I've heard him call for this for years now. I guess it's been a couple of years, so he might have had some inside knowledge on it, but it was obvious he was getting paid too much and he wouldn't take a pay cut. I don't think he's a huge factor, but of course, he'll probably be with the Redskins next season. So,
oh my God, I had at least 3 people hit me up. Redskin fans said, "You know what? We should go out and get this guy right here." I'm telling you right now, if I see Des Bryant Des Bryant wearing the burgundy and gold come 2018, catching passes from Alex Smith. Oh my God, dude! I don't know what I do. I have no idea what I want to do.
Let me interject here. First of all, even if y'all do get Des, Alex Smith ain't gonna throw any contested balls anyway. So I mean, it don't even matter. They didn't even get the ball from Alex Smith.
Right.
He's just gonna check it down as we have
Jordan
discussed
Reed all
on
day,
our last
baby.
podcast. All day.
Jordan, Mr. Glass.
He's still like that. He just needs to stay healthy. He's like
that on Madden. That's the only time I could get to see him play.
God. Put him at receiver. Woof.
Yeah, I got to put him in the game first. He's got to be available.
Yeah.
Alex Smith, Des Bryant. If I see that combination go down, that's a very Dan Snyder move right there to go out and get Des Bryant. It's very Dan Snyder. Deion Sanders, Bruce Smith, Adam Archuleta, Albert Hainsworth. Do I have to keep going on? I mean, what these old names that are broken players that they're past their prime. They've had too many injuries to slow. Des Bryant diva like. I don't want anything to do with him. He could go to Giants. I don't care. I'm fine with that. I like Des Bryant, the Cowboys. He does nothing to hurt me. What is he doing out there?
All right.
Go ahead, Jair.
No, I was gonna bring it back to more of the serious Des talk, if I can, for some of the audience members that actually are screaming for Des. Yeah. So here's the thing with Des. He cannot run the complete route tree. He runs outs, he runs deep post, and he runs hooks. He can't play in the slot because he doesn't have the ability to run a back nine or a back nine route concept. He doesn't have the footwork, and he's 29 years old. He's not going to learn it. So because of that, he's forced to play outside. Then when we get to Des isn't a separation receiver. He's not Antonio Brown. He's not AJ Green. He's not Julio or Odell, where they will create space. and allow a place for the quarterback to fit. He is a contested ball jumper where he does his best making traffics in tight, confined spaces. Uh, let's go back to even the Des Bryant no cats, right? In the Packer game, you look at that highlight, that ball is placed in a very tight window that only Des could get it. Now, he didn't catch it, but that's what, well, technically he didn't catch it.
He did catch that, man.
He caught that.
I don't want to get into that. I was trying to avoid it. That was a horrible example, but I think it illustrated the point just for the audience because I think everybody's seen that play a million times. That's what he does best. So Dez can be in. So let me take a step back. So when Romo left and Dak came in, Dak does not do tight spaces very well. He just checks it down. He goes to his next read, which is fine, but he's not great at. Let me throw it to this specific point over a corner. You know, when they say even if he's covered, he's open, that's Dez. And you need a quarterback that has the accuracy to can put it in a specific spot. So, with all that being said, it really depends on the fit of where he's going to go schematically and quarterback-wise. So that's why...
It depends on the quarterback. I think it depends on the quarterback. When he had Romo, he was fine. He's had those flaws coming in. Nothing's really changed with him. I think a lot of the talk about him losing his step and stuff is hyperbole. I don't think he was ever this burner. You got to understand, he went to the Cowboys franchise where they overhype everybody they get. And so he had a lot more expectations on him than, really his talent represented. I think if he goes to a team with a really good quarterback, a Phillip Rivers can figure out what to do with him. Of course, and Aaron Rodgers, those type of people can figure out what to do with him. Dak is not a good quarterback in my opinion. Again, he's getting hyped because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. That's it. Des just needs to find a good home, like Jair said, and I think he'll be fine. He won't be an elite receiver, but I just think he had a couple good years. I never thought he was an elite receiver to begin with.
What team do you think would be a good fit for him besides those two you named? I don't think he's going to go to the Chargers or the Packers. Maybe a team that has a need at wide receiver, like the 49ers. Seattle would be another team.
Yeah, I think he could. With scrambling Russell Westbrook, I think that's a good team for him. I think it's really depends a lot on the quarterback because it's not like he's out there like an offensive lineman type of I can't get separation. Come on, let's be real about it. His quarterback can't get him the ball. That's a main point of contention. Their best player was injured. It messed up their whole offensive flow. It got poisoned. That whole locker room, that whole situation with Dez. He went from being, somewhat of a leader a year ago, saying all the right things, to kind of being pushed out. And that's what it is. They throw dirt on your name when they get rid of you or they want to trade you. And he can go to another team and do well. He just needs a good quarterback. So list any team with a good quarterback, and I think he'll do well there. Young quarterback, no.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm interested. As long as he's not wearing burgundy and gold, I'm cool with that. He can go anywhere he wants to. He may even go to Canada.
I don't think he'll be wearing the burgundy and gold because he's under 30 years old. He still has. Think about it like this: if you're not even.
I see you build this thing up, but go on.
Let me just say it like this: if you're an NBA, if you're an NFL player and you're top 5, top 10 in your position, and you have your whole career ahead of you, are you taking an interview with the Washington Redskins?
Paul Richardson did.
Paul, that was a good get. I think that was a pretty good get. Paul Richardson, he looks like he's going to be a pretty good player. I didn't know he was as tall as he is, so it's good that they got a young guy that'll grow. So yeah, I stand corrected. But no, I don't see them getting Des Bryant. I don't really think that's what they need.
Yeah,
they could use a possession receiver. They probably could use him. His buddy Josh Norman might try to recruit him.
Why, do some more commercials together?
Yeah, man. It's the gift that keeps
Dance
on
with
giving.
the stars.
Something.
Oh God! All right, fellas, it's been great. It's been wonderful. It's been a lot of information. I don't want to hear about this anymore. It's been great. It's been wonderful. Yeah, good talk. And hey, we do this again. Hopefully, by the time the conference finals come around, get some of that in-depth roster knowledge.
Cool. Sounds good. Have fun, fellas.
Yeah. All right, Jair.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Y'all have
All
a
right.
good one.